Barbell deadlift. This exercise targets your hamstrings and a little bit of your back. Now, this is known as a hinge movement pattern. And the reason why it's so important to master this is because anytime you're picking up anything up off the floor, you are performing this exercise. So it merits learning how to do it well. So the first thing we're gonna do is make sure that you can perform it safely. And the way we're gonna do that is right now, place your feet together and in one swoop, go ahead and reach down for your toes without bending your knees. And if you can touch your toes without bending your knees, then you can do this exercise safely. From there, we're gonna get started by placing the bar on the rack, and we're going to place 2 Olympic 10-pound plates on either side. The longer, thicker ones that resemble the 45-pound plates, which is not only going to make it easier for you to lift the bar up off the rack, but it's also going to make it a lot safer so that you're not excessively bending on the bottom when you're picking up the weight. From there, go ahead and place your index fingers on the rings on both sides, just outside your knees. Keep your abs tight and then drive up through the heels and stand up strong. Take a couple of steps back, and instead of reaching down to the ground to put the bar, we're actually going to begin the exercise right from here, and you're gonna deadlift it down. So the first step, the most important, and the thing we're going to pay attention to the entire time is keep your abs tight, because that's what's gonna protect your lower back. From there, soft knees, drive your hips back until you feel the catch in the back of the legs. The second the bar begins to go just below your knee level, you're going to lower your hips down until it reaches the floor. Now we're ready for the beginning of the setup of the exercise. So we're going to begin by stepping up to the bar and placing your shoelaces just underneath the barbell. From there, soft knees, drive your hips back until you feel the catch in the back of the legs. Keep your abs tight the whole time. And then we're going to drive our hips down until our hands fall on the bar. It's an important distinction to make here. Again, we're not reaching down for the bar. Our hands are falling on the bar as a symptom of us driving our hips down. From there, we're going to grip by placing our index fingers on the rings on either side, just outside our knees. And I want you to pull at the bar, tug at it. You might even hear it clink. And what that's going to do is pull all of the slack out of the movement. And then the last thing we're gonna do here is break the bar in half. And that's gonna lock you into this stable position. And it's also going to help you feel a little bit of tightness in your shoulder blades as well. From there, keep your abs tight as you drive up through the heels and stand up strong. And from here, what we're going to do to put it back down is reverse the entire thing. Soft knees, drive your hips back until you feel the catch in the back of the legs. The second the bar goes just below the knee level, we're going to lower our hips down until the bar reaches the floor. We're aiming for 8 to 12 repetitions here to muscular exhaustion, and we can up the weight by 5 to 10 pounds every time we hit that 12 rep range or beyond. Pro tip, anytime you're even lifting up dumbbells, you wanna think about doing it in a deadlifting style. So soft knees, hips back, abs tight, and drive your hips down. And then once you've fully gripped that dumbbell, then drive up through the heel and stand up strong. This is using your hips as leverage and preventing you from lifting with your knees or even with your back. So there are 7 mistakes that we want to avoid. One is reaching down with your back to grab the bar. You want to think about keeping a big chest the entire time to make sure that your shoulders and back are in a healthy position. 2 is rounding your back on the way up. We don't want to pull with our back to move the weight. We want to make sure we're using our hips. And the way you do that is think about pushing the floor away from you. And that way you're going to be driving up through the heels to stand up strong. 3 is having stiff knees instead of having relaxed and soft knees. With soft and relaxed knees, you're going to be able to drive your hips back so that they can bear the lion's share of the load. 4 is moving the bar away from your body and not having it as close as possible. And this is actually gonna pull on your lower back. You physically want the bar touching your body, gliding along your waist and along your body the entire time while performing this movement to protect your lower back. 5 is rounding your shoulders on the way down. Again, you want to think about having a big chest so that your shoulders are in a healthy position. And the way that you can lock this in is by, quote unquote, breaking the bar in half. And think about resetting your posture after each and every rep. 6 is moving your hips first and then your torso. We're not using our legs to lift up the weight. We're using our hips. And the way you do that is by driving up through the heel and standing up strong. And 7 is using your back first and then moving your hips next. Again, this is very subtle, but we're again not using our hips to move it. We're using our back, which is very dangerous. So we want to make sure we're driving up through the heel and standing up strong.